Every highly successful person has a mentor or coach, and multiple. How many coaches do NBA teams have? More than one, right? How many coaches do NFL teams have? More than one, right? So even your best player, Steph Curry, still has coaches. He still have mentors. He still have people that's out of the league that's talking to him and giving him tips. The problem is we want the high performance. We want the accolades and the championships. We want the rings. But we don't want someone telling us what we can do. We don't want somebody pushing us and holding us accountable. And because of that, we'd rather stay small in this lane and feel like we're doing something big because we got a watch or a car, and not understanding that you're settling for a lower level where if you had somebody that can guide and walk with you, you could blow this out the water. But you'll settle for being able to flex versus really being successful.
Banks will finance 100% of your build and a good percent of your land purchase. Mm-hmm. They say they will, right? But what they don't tell you is that you have to have some capital because we're only going to give you the money in draws.
Okay.
We're not going to just write you a check and say, bam, here's $100,000, $200,000 in your account, go build, and we hope to get that collateral. I mean, get the collateral
That's
back.
bad risk management from a bank standpoint.
Right, from a bank perspective. And so they expect for you to have a plan, have your plans drawn, have this, and then they expect for you to get to a certain point. Then you request a draw, and then they come and inspect it. Then they release that portion. And so a lot of times in the development aspect, a lot of people want to get into this space, as they should, because if you look around any city, anywhere in the world, what you see there is the creation of a developer, period. Because a developer had a plan, he had a vision, he put it down, he got the team together to draw it up and sketch it up from his mind, and then he hired the people that execute it for him. So everything around here from a land perspective comes from a developer. Mm-hmm. And you can do that on, I know a lot of people have been talking about how to leverage your credit cards. That's one way to do it, you know what I mean? Because you can pay your contractors with your car, you can pay for material, bank comes out, sees that you got the shit up.
You can reimburse yourself.
And they reimburse you. You pay off your credit card, get your points. So that type of shit.
Do not buy a property in your personal name. Always set up some sort of entity, an LLC, an S-Corp, a C-Corp, a trust. Set up something, but never buy property in your personal name. If you do, you're putting yourself at huge risk and huge liability. Remember, always buy investment-related real estate in some sort of business entity.
This is a contract to buy the house behind me, and I just flipped it for this $15,000 check. Here's how. I got this house under contract for $270,000. I sent it out to my buyer's list for $285,000. I sent him the original contract, and I sent him an assignment contract. I assigned normal contract to the end buyer, and then I got the remaining $15,000. I didn't close on the house. I didn't spend any money on the house. All I did was assign the contract from my original contract to the new buyer, and they paid me an assignment fee for doing so. We do a few of these a month, and I've been doing this for over 2 years now. Follow and I'll show you how.
I became a millionaire at age 27, and this is exactly how I did it. Well, the first thing I did was I graduated college at age 22 and became a home inspector, making 40 grand a year. So during that time, I leveraged my W-2 income that I had to house hack twice, 2 duplexes, lived in 1 unit, and rented out the other. So being a home inspector, I mastered construction, and it also allowed me to network with the big players around town, all at the same time learning how to invest in real estate. So then I fell in love with the idea of wholesaling real estate, and since that day, we've made 7 figures, all wholesaling real estate. And over the last 3 years, we've used that income that we've gotten from wholesaling to dump it into rental properties and have accumulated a $15 million portfolio. So this all happened because I mastered a skill and became obsessed with changing my life. So if I can go from making 40 grand a year at age 24 to being a millionaire by age 27, so can you. So follow me here on Instagram and on TikTok, and I'll show you exactly step by step how I did it.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a real estate investor and developer.
How much money do you make a year?
I can't
Roundabout.
say that. Is a tax man listening?
You make at least $250,000 a year. Less or more?
I think a little bit more.
Where do you live?
In Brentwood.
Do you rent or do you own?
I own.
Okay, how much is your house worth?
I can't say that.
I'm gonna guess over $3 million.
I don't think you can buy anything there for under $3 million.
What's the most overrated luxury brand?
Yeah, Philip Plain, I agree. I think even this store here, by the way.
Bijan?
Bijan, yeah.
If you could hang out with a rapper for a day, what rapper would it be?
Chance.
Okay, why Chance?
I love his stuff.
If you could have all the money in the world or all the power in the world, which one would you choose?
Power.
Why?
Because then I could change the world, make it a better place.
Any New Year's resolutions?
Be an even better dad and a better husband.
But give me one annoying thing that your wife does.
She takes too long to get ready.
Hey Valerie, this is Cameron. How are you today?
I'm good.
Good to hear. I wanted to make some time this week to follow back up with you regarding that property on LaSalle Street. Just seeing where you're currently staying with that property.
You want something that is cheap so you can sell, repair it and make money, right?
We are investors. We're looking to, buy property at the moment so we can put some money into it and either keep it in our rental portfolio or, sell it back off on the market.
Yeah, I'm looking for 100,000.
You're looking for 100,000?
Yeah.
No wiggle room? You're pretty firm at that number? I mean, if we were to get this wrapped up and closed in the next 2 weeks, cover the closing costs, you don't have any wiggle room to work with us?
Yeah, if your offer is good.
Okay, I gotcha. I mean, I always like to ask people, just out of curiosity, what has you thinking about selling the property?
Yeah, I'm tired of holding on to it because I have tenants who live in there and sometimes I have to go to court to evict them and all that stuff. I'm tired of going to court up and down, so that's why I want to get rid of it.
Okay. Yeah, we can definitely help take care of that. Get this off of your hands. Is there any reason why you want to really sell for 100? Because just looking at the assessment from last year, I mean, the property was assessed for 65,000. So I can't seem to imagine where you're getting 100,000 from, unless you did a total rehab to it within the past year.
I did some rehab.
What'd you end up doing to the property? You put in a new kitchen and all that good stuff?
Oh no, we just paint it and make it look nice so we can rent it out. And I have people living there right now.
Okay. How have the tenants been treating you? Is that somebody that would be an issue to get out of there, or would they be pretty easygoing?
I don't know. So far, the government's been helping her, but I don't know. You call them, they don't answer you.
Yeah, that sounds pretty typical. Well, I mean, hey, like I said, the property was assessed last year for $65,000. I mean, would you even consider anything in that realm?
I have to talk to my fiance and see what he thinks. I can't give you an offer right now.
Okay.
But that's what he told me. So you guys are willing to give me 65 or what?
I mean, I think that's definitely a reasonable ballpark that we'd be willing to work with. We definitely want to still, get some eyes on the property and nail that number down for you. But, again, we would be able to get this wrapped up and taken care of within the next, 2 to 3 weeks. And we're more than happy to take it on with the tenants.
Okay, I have to. This is your number. What's your name again?
My name is Cameron.
Okay, I'll talk to my fiance and see what he says.
Okay, awesome. Let's set a date this Friday to get back on the phone with each other to reconnect. How does that sound?
Okay, that's fine.
Here's how to get paid $5,000 a month without ever having to work again. Find a fixer-upper like this where you can buy it at a 30% discount. Let's say you're able to buy that property at a 30% discount. So let's say you pay $100,000 for that house. And it's going to cost you about $20,000 to rehab the property. And now you're all in on this property for $120,000. After it's all fixed up, let's say you're able to rent the house out for $1,200 a month. Next, you're gonna go to the bank and you're gonna do what's called cash out refinance. So the bank is gonna send out what's called an appraiser to appraise to see how much the property's worth in today's market. Let's say the appraiser went out there and looked at the property and he appraised the property to be worth around $160,000. The bank is gonna loan you 75% of the appraised value. So 75% of 160 is $120,000. On a $120,000 mortgage at a 5% interest rate, 30-year amortizations, that puts your monthly mortgage payment to $655 a month. With taxes and insurance, I'm just gonna make it even $700 a month. We take the rent of $1,200 a month minus whatever you pay each month, which is around $700. That'll give you a net amount of $500 a month in your. Here comes the best part. Since the bank is going to loan you that $120, you get to take the $120,000 that you have invested in that property back out and go do this 9 more times, which total 10 house that you're gonna have. You're basically reusing this 120 over and over and over again until you get to 10 house. If you take 10 house times by $500 that you made every single month, that's equal to $5,000 a month in your pocket without you doing shit. If I take 5,000 times 12 months, boom, that's $60,000 a year. The average income in the US is $48,672. You just made more than the people that work at a J-O-B and you don't do shit. The question here is, Kong, where do I get the $120,000? Well, like and follow for part 2. I'm going to show you how to make that in a year or even in a month without a college degree or a GED.
How old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
And you own how many houses?
I own 5 houses now.
And you're buying your 6th?
Yeah, that's on the way.
So how do you keep having all the money? Because you weren't giving any money to anybody.
Nah, just recycling my money, using the VR strategy that you taught me. So buying, renovating, and then renting out. And then pulling out the money once I've added value.
Wow, okay. Is it not a nightmare though, managing all these tenants?
Nah, I don't deal with tenants. Give it to the housing association. They sort out everything for me, completely hands off. And I get the money in my account every day.
What's next for you, bro?
Big developments.
I'm excited. Follow for more.